Previously on the Garner brothers.
Many of the signs preceding the second coming of Jesus Christ are happening before our very eyes. Each of us has pre-recorded a conspiracy that we do not feel is a conspiracy, but you may.
That in the next 1 to 2 years, we will be doing just that. We will be living out of our food storage.
But to think that we are all going to be living off our food storage in very shortly, that I think would raise a lot of flags for a lot of people.
It's also a scary thought. It's very scary.
I'm moving to Missouri to build Zion.
And if that's the case, so why don't we just sell our homes and buy some property?
You have to be a Zion to enter a Zion.
Jackson County, that will be the center place of Zion, the New Jerusalem.
Yeah, because your yellow dog's going to die if you go.
Should we go to the next one?
Next one.
All right, Jason.
I am dropping off my ballot in the official ballot drop box. This is just a local special election for school board. My conspiracy theory is that the presidential election of 2020 was the last presidential election that our country will ever see. That's a pretty bold statement, and obviously a conspiracy theory, and I'm not sure that I believe it. But when you consider what's going on in our country right now as far as political unrest and racial strife and out of control inflation and a dishonest media, and the fact that both political parties seek for more control, more power, and money instead of a more perfect union, it's easy to imagine how quickly the people of our country could get tired of this, tired of the constant conflict, and in desperation just want someone to tell them what to do. Now, I think we're going to have the midterm elections of 2022, but it is possible that by 2024 things will be so bad that many of us will have just given up. I hope that wasn't the last time I voted. Of these conspiracy theories, this is a conspiracy theory.
Right.
Whereas these are not.
Right.
There's nothing scriptural about this.
No.
Unless you're looking at Ezra's Eagle, and then that's kind of a crapshoot.
Yeah, you're assuming that your interpretation is correct.
Yeah.
Fragile. It must be Italian.
In truth, it may be 100% scriptural and factual.
Maybe.
We just don't.
Maybe it's just a little deeper than we're at right now. And so I'm basically going to say, there's a lot of factors that are involved in this. There's poverty. There's the institutions that we are used to, or they're crumbling around us, and the people are getting used to being held up and backed up so much by the government that we will become dependent upon the government. And so with other things happening in the world, it's very easy to see that we will do whatever they say. At a certain point, we will be so dependent upon them that they'll say, in order for you guys to continue to have a good society and to live, we're just going to put this person in place. So there's no more need for elections. We'll tell you what to do, and you'll do it because we have all the money, and we give it to you.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Oh, wait.
Yeah, we're dependent on them.
So that's basically what I'm going to say. And of course, plop in there that, it's not going to be like it was. We're not going to have elections like we did.
Yeah.
So that's a conspiracy.
Right. So, what do other people think right now? I mean, this is a crazy time politically. Even though the election is gone, It's been over for a long time. I still see Trump flags everywhere. It is so polarizing still.
Yeah.
And so when we talk about conspiracy theory, which really, like you were saying, it's we have less ground than our other conspiracy theories. Of the 4 that we're presenting today, this one is more of a conspiracy theory. But
Possibly.
right. But what's going on in everyone else's mind right now?
I think what's going on is like the Jews when Christ was here. They're saying this is too big to fail. Look at the infrastructure we have. Look at this huge country. Look at how much. Look at our military. Look at our might. Look at how much money we have. It can't fail. It can't, and it can quickly.
And you got normalcy bias. People try and fit everything back into that box, no matter how far out of it is. They just shove it back in. My life is normal. I just got to get up and go to work, come home, do everything normal.
There you go. That's $37. Awesome!
Everything is awesome.
But even people like that, you can't fool yourself into thinking that everything has been the same. I mean, look, 7 years ago. Would we ever have thought we would be in the position we are now 7 years ago with the election, with the political strife that we're having? I think we would never imagine a day like this. So you can't think, well, everything's fine, everything's good. Yeah, it's a little weird, but it'll continue to be normal.
I don't think so.
No.
Not at all. But plenty of people out there. I mean, I've heard a lot of people pointing back to the 70s and all the political crap we had back then. It was just as bad back then.
This is different.
Yeah, I don't think so. I don't know about that, but obviously I don't believe that. I believe.
Now, being the only one that lived in the 70s,
You're so old.
yeah, 79 doesn't count as 70s. Disco was dead. I'll tell you, the 60s was the problem, not the 70s.
Well, I think also, going back to these Trump flags, I mean, there's something far different than ever before, where you have people waving a flag. When I see the Trump flag with some, F-150, screaming down screaming down the road,
yeah,
with the flag waving, it's Trump. To me, when I see that guy or lady, that individual.
Is that a lady?
And again, this is just my thinking. This is how I process that image. That person believes that the election was stolen. And there are so many. I mean, you think of us right here in the Pacific Northwest, a very blue section of the United States. I can't tell you how many Trump flags I see every day. Can you imagine all across the United States how many people are so fed up with those individuals who think, no, everything's normal, everything's fine, and nothing can fail, everything is just the way it is. And then you have those on the other side that say, no, it's not, and we're not going down the road you think we are.
He says we're going the wrong way.
Oh, he's drunk. How would he know where we're going?
Beyond what we are seeing on the news, beyond what we are seeing around us, beyond the obvious deterioration of our society, there is the second book of Esdras in the Apocrypha. What is it, chapter 11?
I think so. Mm-hmm.
And that is a vision that the prophet Ezra had, and it's called Ezra's Eagle. Won't explain the whole thing, but essentially it's a vision that shows kind of the history of our nation and then a little bit of what is to come. And it kind of shows, it's difficult to decipher, and many people have different interpretations of it, so it's hard to know, which feather or wing it's referring to, but it does show that soon there will not be an election. There will just be someone who takes over. We don't know how. We don't know how it's going to happen. We don't know why. We don't know the circumstances surrounding it. But that's essentially what that vision is about. Is about elections ending and someone just taking charge.
And I think the conspiracy part should only be that this last election was last time. Because if you believe in the Bible, then you believe that one day, before the second coming, there will be a man called the Antichrist, or the Mouth, or the Assyrian, or the Stout Horn, or whatever you call him, whatever prophet you're listening to. There will be a person who will have global dominance. So whether you believe it's this last election or one in the future, there will eventually be a time when there's not an election.
And we do know that it's not Joe Biden.
Oh, no.
So, there's that.
All right, next slide.
He doesn't know that.
He doesn't know very much. Oh, mine, okay. Jesus is coming. And he's coming a lot sooner than most realize. We won't be waiting for 50 years or even 20 years. In a few short years, he will be here. When my wife and I first moved into this home, we were sure that this would be our forever home. And although we have no intention of moving, I can't see us still living in this home in 5 years. Now, I'm not referring to the great and dreadful day of the Lord, not his coming to the world, nor am I referring to his coming to the Jews on the Mount of Olives. I'm referring to his first appearance, his first coming in these last days, which will be to Zion with his people. You know, the Zion that hasn't been built yet. The one that the Lord prophesied to, or told Joseph Smith that Zion would be in Jackson County. The righteous will build Zion. And although I love this home, I won't be here.
But what you're saying is kind of like what I'm saying. Because
it's very
you're not really talking about the second coming.
What he's saying and what you're saying is kind of like what John's saying.
Yeah, but
I've said similar things as well. But
you can't both be right.
Wait, what are we talking about?
But you're not talking about the great and dreadful day.
I'm talking about Jesus coming, and I think why this is considered a conspiracy to them.
No offense. No, none taken.
Is because it's always, we've always been told. Again, you grow up in the church or outside the church, as a Christian, you're told, oh, the second coming is going to happen. And it's always been that thing that's always going to be in the future.
Yeah.
That thing that's never going to be close is always going to be far away.
Right.
And so I think that's what the conspiracy is. We're saying it's not far away.
So I'm going to be vague about what I'm about to say because, first of all, I don't remember exactly who it was, but I was listening to BYU speeches. I don't know what they call them there. And a professor got up to talk about, and I started watching this video because the title was something about the second coming. I'm like, all right, let's do this one. And his whole talk was why the second coming wasn't about to happen.
Oh.
And at first I was like confused. So I started watching and listening, and his first and main point was it's not about to happen because it hasn't happened. And he talked about all the saints in the past, all the way back to the time of the Savior, and how each group has looked forward to the second coming.
So he's
and it never happened. So it's not going to happen because it didn't. And it was,
can we put this? Can we flash this up on the?
Yeah, I'll see if I can find it. I'll see if I can find that, and we can put it right here or over there. Or
The logic.
The second coming is not happening because it never has happened.
You're a crazy person.
This was a BYU speech under the BYU speeches label. And
that logic eludes me. Like, wouldn't that be more of a reason why he would cut? Because he hasn't. Okay, he hasn't.
All right, so that just irritates me.
I'm just getting really, just kind of
I hate to be irritated about something that I heard somebody talk about something, so that's like, you know, but I mean, the prophet just recently said, we're living in the time foretold of by all the ancient prophets. We're living, now is the time.
We live in the day that our forefathers have awaited with anxious expectation. We have front row seats to witness live what the prophet Nephi saw only in vision. You, my brothers and sisters, are among those men, women, and children whom Nephi saw.
And he says it in every one of his talks. We're doing this to prepare for the second coming.
So, a couple of weeks ago when I was at church, this brother in my ward, he mentioned something about he was watching a video, a second coming video. And my ears perked up. I was like, oh, what? And so I approached him after church and I asked him, so what have you been watching? I was really excited to see if he was watching any of the things that I was watching. And no, he wasn't. He was watching some video that these people do about Come Follow Me. A video that I've seen many times and I'm not a super big fan of. But then I was at High Adventure with this same guy. And we were talking, and we got on this subject that Jesus is coming, and he is of the opinion that he's going to be long dead. Oh, he's probably mid-50s, maybe close to 60. I'd say mid-50s. And I said just to be conservative, 10 years, within 10 years.
Who'd you talking about?
And he was. Didn't know what to say. He was shocked that anyone would think that. And I was shocked that anyone would be shocked. Did you hear what the prophet just said?
Yes. Well, and I think the disconnect here is, you know, that individual, along with many others, they say, oh, the second coming isn't going to be for a long time, you know, 30, 40 years. And he's probably right.
I'm not too worried about it. I'm going to be dead.
But we're not talking about the second coming. I think the disconnect is many individuals don't understand the doctrine here, that the second coming is going to be his coming to the world. But there are 3 other events where he has second comings. So he comes to Adam-on-Diamond. He comes to Zion when it is established.
To the temple.
He comes. And then he comes to the Jews on the Mount of Olives.
That's what they're thinking.
And then,
that's the one
they
they're
get it all mixed
which is also
up.
wrong.
They kind of put it all into one, and they're very separate with much time in between each. And so, although yes, the very end, second coming, could be many decades away, he is coming soon to his second coming, if you will.
So do you think that people that don't believe this don't want to because it's maybe a lazy way of thinking? I'm not going to have to be worried about this. I'm not going to have to prepare for this because it's out in the future. When maybe what we should be doing is, if it's tomorrow, what state am I in? How can I prepare myself spiritually, temporally, so that at any moment, it doesn't matter, 1 year, 10 years, 30 years, 50 years, if he comes, I'm ready.
All right, that's it. Stay tuned. We're going to start recording our next video, so watch it. See ya.
Yeah, I can get up. Oh.
And what I say unto you, I say unto all, watch.